Morgan? Wow, it's losing the light now. I've been hard at it since about 11:30, I suppose. I had about half an hour off altogether. I've been moving the soil. I've got my wife come and help me with the last hour, but I've moved one pile, and I'm going to try and do the rest in the morning. From that's not too bad. And I've moved some over there. I've put some down here. Well, I'm just trying to top up around there. I've filled in a little seepage there because the water's been running under the tank and God knows where the soil goes. A little bit there. And a little bit here. There. And some in there. And we had some, not ginger, tamarick. We grew some tamarick here, but the soil went down. It went out, so probably got about 10 barrow loads there. And a little bit down here. Got some over here. I've got one of these old powers. Not one of the, hasn't got a pump up tyre. I've got some there. It's a really old, it's hard work, but it's like, in England you just use it as a garden ornament, but here you use them. It's done a lot of work though. A little bit there. And the other, I go a long way with the barrow. But there's a little bit left. The first lorry load were better, but it's gone to sand now. Look, it looked black soil, but when it dried out, it's gone to sand. But that's all you can get. I don't know how they grow so much stuff. Well, what was grown in this soil was the sticks, tapioca, I suppose they call it, is the proper name maybe. They grow these sticks and as potato things underneath. This is perfect for that, and that's what they seem to grow. I put a bit here. I used to have a tank there, one of these water tanks, and they sink. And where the soil goes, I have no idea. So a little bit there. I suppose the soil just goes a little bit there. Top that up. The corn's doing quite well. The sweet corn. So one of the troubles with the pitaya trees, these trees, is when they die, they leave a big hole in the ground where the trunk was, and it doesn't fill itself in because it goes down about best part of a meter, and it's whatever thickness that tree is, and it just leaves a dirty great big hole. I was trying to work out what they were before. Oh, is it a snake? Is it what? No, it's not. It's a pitaya tree hole. I was trying to think, is it maybe snakes go in there and live there? I don't know. But the rest of it I've taken over here. I've got a few lumpy bits there. I got a tree stump there. I put some soil on, and the rest I put here. I want to try and grow some sweet potatoes here. Maybe not enough sun, but they're worthless to grow anyway. If they grow, they grow. I like to eat them, but yeah, if they grow, they grow. But I know you can buy in the market for 20-30 baht a kilo, but they're not the same. I bought some beans the other day from the market, 30 baht for enough for a couple of days. But after the first day, they just went black, and I thought, oh, when you grow it out the garden, they are just so fresh and they stay green. Got a lot of pots now. Oh, I spend all my money on this black soil. But what I do now, I have this. I take the coconut, the skin off the coconut, and I fill up half half the pot with that. Oh, you won't scratch my bike, do you, little cat? I fill up half the pot with this. I don't see, there's no light here, but I'll get back in the light. I fill up half the pot with this, because that's all what most of this black soil is. So half the pot is that, and then I put the black stuff on, and that's about it. And yeah, so because I'm gonna got the coconuts, I'm not selling them now. I'm just going to use them. You get so much value from one of these coconuts. I ain't selling them cheap and crap like that. I mean, one of these big coconuts, I get 1.5 litres of coconut milk, and I like to drink the milk. I get the white stuff what's left over after I've smashed all the milk out of it. I make some biscuits, add a bit of sugar and a bit of flour, make some biscuits, stick in the oven for an hour. I have some biscuits, and the husk, the outside bit, I use as black soil. I mean, when I grow a plant after 6 months, maybe I have to use it again, but it will turn into the black soil. So I reuse this. I don't throw it in the garden. I keep it and reuse it because the funds aren't so good. I've got all these onions now, look. I can eat onions now for, I don't know what's in there, they're not growing, but I'm going to plant all these onion seeds. And so I've topped up the garden. I've topped up the flower bed, which is now a papaya bed. I just got a little bit more to do down the end. I did that this morning. I walked backwards and forwards. I topped all that up with the soil. So when it rains, it'll all wash back in, which would be very nice. And when it's wet, it go black, and that's a lot better soil than what was in there before. I didn't have much soil in there before because, well, I didn't have any soil to put in it. Now I got these 2 loads. I could have done one more really, because I've got a piece out the back which I want to fill in, but that'll have to wait. I'll get another one when I can afford it. Well, I did order 3, but it's like one of those things. If you're running a car or a motorbike, I lose soil. Soil goes out, and once it starts to go out, you've got a hole, and then you've got to fill it in. Otherwise, you lose it quickly. It's like servicing a car or a motorbike. If the oil needs changing, it's got to be changed. There, you have to spend money on the oil. If you don't spend money on the oil, you get more problems. And it's the same with this soil. I'll show you quickly. Because I've had so many lorry loads, because that's the proper height, what that is there. There's the height, that's the proper, this is where I'm standing now, is the proper height. This cat here come beat my cats up. Hello, gonna run away? He likes me, but he doesn't like anyone else. Yeah, back. You see, I have here, because my wall is here, it's probably getting on for 1.5 meters higher than next door, and of course down there it's all where they got these chickens. It's chipped away at the soil, and they didn't have a wall around their house before, so they've, not only am I higher, they're lower. At one time they were the same height, now they're lower. Their soil is now lower than the foundations on my wall, so it's all gone out. Hence I've filled all this end bit rubbish. Now I've got this little wall here. It'll only work for so long. What I'm going to have to do, and I'm not going to fill it in now, but if it starts to be a problem, then what I would do is I dig it out and I put some cement down the bottom of the wall. But that's what you've got to do. I mean, where this wall is, this little wall, that was the same last year. That was the same level. Now it's, I would dread to think how low it is. I haven't checked, but I know it's low, and I know I'm losing soil. This one, not quite so sure. I get them, but you can see, like, I've just got a bit of bamboo. You can see, like here, it goes down, and then it goes out, and then it goes under the wall, and then I lose soil, which is no good at all. Now I dread to think how much lower this is. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's well over 30 centimeters I've lost. So yeah, it's leaking at the bottom. Now if I fill it with this soil I've got here, it's soft, and as soon as it rains it'll wash out again. So I'm gonna have to let it go on its own, dig it out, and fill it with concrete, or put some concrete along the bottom. So it's even here it's starting to go. There I've done that little bit of concrete, and we're losing the light now because it's. But as you hear, it's sinking down. I mean, it's just not the biggest problem unless all the foundation goes. And sometimes I've actually caught them one time. She had a spade and she was digging out the bottom of the wall to try and make my soil go out, and it works. But lucky enough I saw her, so I dug my side out enough to get in and filled it with cement and a couple of bits of brick. That's all you can do. Okay, that's it for today. Good night.